Hey everybody, and welcome to LeadHit's Advanced E-commerce training class. We are excited that everybody's joining us today. We're going to be getting started here in just a minute, so hang tight. Okay, so welcome. I wanted to give everybody a couple of minutes to get into the classroom and get everything set up, make sure that your audio is working and you've got some notes open so that you can take some notes. We are going to go through a lot of really exciting material today, and we're going to be covering, as you know, e-commerce conversion. So we're calling it e-commerce advanced class. Now, this is a deep dive into what we've learned over the years of experience in the industry and how to convert visitors into customers. But before we get started, we'll just give you a little bit of background on who we are and what we've done. So my name is Clayton Wood, and I'm with LeadHit. LeadHit is a platform for e-commerce stores that helps serve personalized, respectful marketing campaigns tailored to the customers on your website. So we've worked in behavioral marketing since 2011. We are worldwide. We've got offices in the US and in Europe, and over 500 clients. And through that experience, we've watched and monitored over $1 billion in transactions over the years. Now, that's to say that we've got a lot of deep dived information into how people convert and why they convert. And today, we're going to share some of that with you. We've got a lot of really exciting features and widgets and tools that we use. And here's some of the results that our wonderful client base have been able to achieve, and some of the feedback that we've got. So eTorg says it's an extremely helpful service for e-commerce sites. We've got a combination of modern marketing tools that complement each other with website conversion overall. Agent Provocateur says LeadHit proves to be a very useful and effective marketing solution. We actually helped those guys for the last couple of years improve not only the revenue and the sales, but the quality of their inbound traffic, which is a big goal. And then one of our best clients, A5 Group, they've been with us for a couple of years. Again, they've used a lot of our features. We've helped them increase sales. And it's because of the motivation and the attention to detail. Now, we're unlike most other platforms out there where we're not just analytics, but we actually give marketing campaigns based on what your customers are interested in. But we're not going to pitch right now. We're going to cover all the stuff that we've learned. So this is sort of the results-driven type of projects that we love being a part of. Zarina over 17.6% in additional LeadHit-driven sales. Now, when Funday or Amorum or these guys that are on the screen here installed our platform, we basically partnered with them, and at no additional work, we're able to give them insight on who's looking at what their visitors are interested in, and serve customized individual marketing campaigns. Now, I'm going to get into that in quite a bit of detail here, so don't worry about fully breaking down what that means, because it's pretty detailed and it's a little bit intricate, but the platform overall is something that, once installed, takes all of the data that you're already generating and tracking on your clients through your website, through Google Analytics, and aggregates that into the features that can, create a call to action that matters for the client. And that has to do with timing, with wording, with all of that stuff. And that's what we do. So without further ado, let's get started. Here's what we're going to cover today. Um, the first lesson is e-commerce marketing audit, and we're going to sort of show you how to deep dive into your marketing and audit it and find out where the opportunities to make more sales and more revenue are. The second lesson is advanced data tracking. This is sort of the root of what we do and where our passion lies. So we're going to get into how you can do that and create analytics that will help you convert. And then we're going to talk about data analysis for conversion. Analytics is one thing. Analyzing that and being able to convert it is a completely different thing. Number 4 would be the tools and the offers. So how you can use that and what exactly we do to help you get started. Now, getting started in this means that we need to take an inventory of everything that we've got going as an e-commerce store or that you've got going and audit it. We need to look at what sort of aspects are we running, what aspects do we lack, and before we do that, I want to make sure that everybody gets on the same page with our mantra. Our mantra is respect. And what we see in many cases is that modern marketing, especially in e-commerce stores, is extremely disrespectful. You get pop-ups all over the place, you get emails that aren't relevant, and this is where we feel is the basis of everything that we do. So we feel like the key to successful e-commerce marketing is respect, okay? And respecting the customer specifically. Yeah, so in e-commerce shopping, it's sort of a lost art. We've had this experience where, you buy something and then you get a follow-up email and maybe it doesn't have anything to do with what you were looking at, or maybe it's not relevant for the timing. And we're not just talking about stores disrespecting their customers in general. We're bringing this point up because changing it means that you'll make more money. So having that respect for your audiences. And take a look at this interesting survey that we did. So we interviewed about 4,800 visitors to our clients' websites about their e-commerce experience. And we asked them, in your experience with an e-commerce store, what items or what of these items stopped you from making a purchase? Now, the interesting part is the bottom, where it's annoying pop-ups, the email follow-ups are irrelevant, or there's too many emails. And look at the percentages. 29% of people said that they're unlikely to buy something from a store that just spams them all the time with email. So some of the stuff at the top you probably already know: slow working site, bad user interface, and those are all bad things. And generally speaking, everyone sort of works on those. But the highlighted red parts is where we want to shine the light today, because so many large and small companies are doing it wrong, and it's driving visitors away. Now, let's get to the root of respect. It's based on understanding what the visitor's needs. It's different than just being polite, saying thank you or saying please. This is just good, proper manners. But truly respecting the customer would be a personalized experience, right? And that is only possible if you understand what the visitor's needs are. So to solve this, to understand what your visitors' needs are, you've got to understand what they're looking for. And based on that, you can provide them with very customized solutions. So imagine a personalized in-person shopping experience where you go into the store, you tell somebody what you need, and or you indicate by which items you look at what you need, and they're able to help you and recommend products based on what your interests are. And by doing this, you'll not only increase loyalty, you'll increase sales, you'll increase return business, and everything that goes along with that. So let's all agree that the basis of respect is understanding the visitor's needs. Now, the way that you can monitor that is with behavior. This is sort of the only thing that we have or the biggest contributing factor to what we have as online retailers with our audience. So if you're going to understand a customer's needs, you've got to consider their behavior, right? So pop-ups from typical stores don't normally consider the behavior of a customer, do they? In many cases, it's right when you get on the site. Most sites don't take it into account. When you log onto the site, you see a pop-up. When you're inactive, you'll see another pop-up. We think that's disrespectful. So entrance pop-ups, exit pop-ups, idle pop-ups. And it's not the act of it popping up that's disrespectful. It's the lack of consideration to the behavior of the customer. So the pop-up in itself isn't disrespectful at all. In fact, it's one of the biggest converting tools that you can use, but it is disrespectful when it's done at the wrong time. You wouldn't chase your customer out of the store or lock the door before he was able to leave a physical store. This would be extremely disrespectful. But we do it online, don't we? Stores will not allow people to leave without clicking off of their exit pop-up. Stores will immediately, when you walk in their virtual door, put a sign in front of your face. And that is not careful, and it just builds this sort of attitude of apathy that we are on a mission to change. All right, and the solution is intuitive widgets, pop-ups, emails, any sort of gamification or function on the website. The solution is intuitive widgets can tell you how many times you've been on the page, can suggest that you put something on a saved list, or what we call a wish list. There's a number of different things that solve this problem, but it has to be based on behavior, okay? So we've been going around preaching and encouraging and teaching people how to start respecting their customers. And if you understand what your customer needs right now, you can probably understand what he'll want in the future, right? And you can make better product offers and better timed offers that will convert more. Most e-commerce sites don't respect their customers at all. As we've talked about, modern marketing tools that are somehow accepted in the industry by even good marketers are in many cases annoying, rude, and it needs to change. True respect means agile data and understanding the customer's interests and wants. So if you respect them, or if you respect your users, every tool that you use to market with should be served at an appropriate time, should be served with the appropriate content. And this is sort of an example of it. So email blasts, numerous pop-ups on the left-hand side. These are all things that marketers use. And again, it's not the actual tool. It's not the fact that they're blasting an email. It's the fact that they're throwing mud against the wall and just hoping that it sticks. And true customer respect is using data in an agile manner, understanding the visitor's needs, and only doing marketing that's data-driven. Now let's take a look at some of this. Here's some of these pop-ups that I was talking about. You get these a lot, right? 10% pop-ups right when you enter the site that are asking, do you want a discount? And it's wild because the store doesn't even know if it's actually motivating you or not. I mean, they might get some sales from it, but what if I was already going to purchase? I did a in-person event where I taught this class and asked a couple of people in the audience, when was the last time you purchased something online? And a few people raised their hand that it was in the same day. And I asked them, did you already know that you were going to purchase something from that website? And the answer was yes. And then I asked him, did you use a coupon or anything like that? One guy said, yes, I used a 10% off coupon when I logged on the website. And I said, so let me ask you, if they didn't serve you that coupon, would you have still purchased? And he said, yes, because I already knew that I wanted that item. I already knew where I was going to buy it from. It was just an extra 10% off. So if during the decision-making process, the user um, was already going to buy, then the website, the business is losing 10% offering that coupon. Um, and let's say he wasn't going to buy, or he was just browsing. Why serve it at the beginning? He doesn't know if he's going to buy anything yet. So you log on to the website, you get the 10% off your first order coupon. You don't know if you're going to order, so you X off of the coupon. You browse around, and then you find something that you do want. And how many times have you not been able to find that coupon again, right? Because it was a pop-up. So in that case, you're frustrating the customer. So it's just a good example of a store losing money because of a disrespectful approach. And these are some of the things that we want to change and that we are helping change for our customers. Here's another great example of a major problem in the industry today. I bought a bunch of presents for Christmas this past year on the internet, and some of them were for women at home goods stores or clothing goods stores, my girlfriend and my sister. And after that, I'm seeing emails from those same companies every day, sometimes 2 times a day, about all of this stuff that you see on the screen here. It's way too, it's not relevant, first of all, to what I bought, and it's way too frequent. I care nothing about, or very little, about all of these types of ideas. Now imagine if they knew that I was a guy because I filled out the information on the purchase page, and they knew that I was buying something for, the outside patio at my house. Why wouldn't they recommend something that was in line with that? So it's just a really bad example of marketing. And then here's another one. That was one store, Jocelyn, Maine. And I hope Jocelyn, Maine isn't in the audience. If you guys are, we'd love to help, and love to make some suggestions. But the store itself is phenomenal. But I bought from a few other stores, and look, now I'm getting emails, 3-4 times a day, and I haven't bought anything from these guys. So we're on a mission to sort of change the idea behind what it means to do a good email marketing campaign and a good e-commerce marketing campaign overall. Okay, lesson number 2, advanced data tracking. Now, this is where we sort of get into the details. And I'd like to, before we get started, ask a poll. I'd like to put out a poll. So if you're here and if you can respond, if you would just answer this question, I'm curious to see sort of how people are grading themselves in their data tracking skills. So how would you grade yourself for data tracking? Skills or instruments or features or anything like that? Would you grade yourself expert level, good, decent, or needs improvement? If you would, just let us know how you would grade your data tracking skills: expert level, good, decent, or needs improvement. And I'll just move forward with the presentation as you guys enter in the answers. Yep, I see some goods. I see some decents. Okay, cool. Yeah, this gives me an idea of sort of who's in the audience and how much data you're tracking. So this, as I'm sure you can imagine, is the basis of everything that we do. We can't serve customized marketing campaigns to visitors unless we track their data, right? And while everybody has, or most people probably have Google Analytics, it goes a little bit further than that. So here's the basis of a framework that we have built our entire platform on, and that we think that you should start tracking your data on, okay? So first of all, the main thing that people miss is collecting from anonymous users. You want to collect data from anonymous users. Think about it. If an anonymous user comes to the homepage of your website, they click through to a few pages, they go to buy something, they enter in their information. If you tracked their anonymous data before they entered in their information, you now know which product pages they browsed. If you just take their name and their email and the product that they purchased, that might not give you, or it's definitely not going to give you, a complete picture of who they are and what items that they looked at. So how on earth are you supposed to recommend good purchased products for them in the future? So this is the framework. You want to make sure that you record the entire process of the visitor. Recording the data while the visitor is on the site allows you your exit emails to become personalized, right? So if you've got an exit email or an exit pop-up, it allows you to personalize that. Every single call to action should be personalized if you've got properly tracked data. And then after exit emails should be personalized. So once somebody does email or exit, that email should be personalized. Any widget that you have, a pop-up, a customer service widget, a chat widget, anything, it should be agile for any possible screen. This is another massive mistake that we see when we engage with the client is, the chat widget or the pop-up doesn't look the same on mobile or tablet or different size screens. And that's not good. That's not converting anybody. Oftentimes that's difficult to make happen because you may be using 3 or 4 or 5 different types of tools or widgets, and they might not all be compatible. So you're going to have to go through all of the different tools that you use and make sure that they fit the screen properly and that they're all personalized. All right. So this is the framework to get you started, and this deck will be available at the end of class today. So no worries. We'll make sure that you get it. We've got your email because you signed up, and we're happy to provide the framework that either you can go and create on your own or work with us. The second thing in advanced data tracking that we really wanted to highlight today was to go beyond Google Analytics. You've got to collect, analyze, and save for a bigger purpose, okay? These are the main points that allow you to serve customized, top-notch call to actions and motivating pieces of content to a user, whether it's anonymous or whether he's given you his information. So path history, intent, what they have looked again at, what they've gone back to, what products they've gone back to, and then if you've got big data, as we do, it's really interesting where you can go and sort of compare a profile. Much like in Facebook, you can do a lookalike profile. So just knowing these things listed above, you'll know more important information than Google Analytics gives you. And based on all of our big data that we've collected, we can compare site visitors' behavior and come up with the right marketing approach for them. So a similar lookalike audience is a really big sales booster here. And then I don't know if anybody else does this kind of data tracking, that kind of deep data tracking. So it's a really unique value that we're very proud of. And then recognizing the visitor is such a massive part of serving him the right campaigns. So I'll show you how these widgets work later for anonymous visitors and identified visitors. The major point is that the widgets you use need to be smart, and they're probably not. If there's a pop-up, it's just going to say the same thing to everybody. If there's a exit intent pop-up or something, it's going to say the same thing to everybody. You remember all of the pop-ups that we saw earlier. They're not smart because they don't take into account the user's behavior. They don't really motivate people to buy. So don't be fooled. Another point is to not be fooled by email collection. There's a lot of tools that will do like a page takeover or a pop-up at an appropriate time and ask somebody for their email, and those are great. And statistically speaking, they do work. because you'll get a lot of emails, but don't be fooled by a bunch of email collection. It doesn't always mean that they want to buy, unless you're using intelligent pop-ups. So our widgets are based on behavior and are categorized into wish list, smart offer, feedback, callback, and we've got 4 or 5 more. And this is why they excel in such a big way. Now, let's talk about tracking the activity of each visitor. And I'll start with this path. Number 1 is understanding when he entered the site. Okay. Now this, let me step back. This whole slide and this section is the minimum framework of data tracking. Now the stuff that we do is pretty advanced, but we went through and put all of the phases of data tracking and wrote them down. And this is what this is. So use this as a framework if you want to build a data tracking system, or you want to know what proper data tracking looks like. So it starts with understanding when he entered the site. It goes to use standard forms and smart widgets to identify the visitor. Try to recognize him through your base, through your database. Track his shopping paths and update your data. Predict his interest through his data and big data. Understand if he's leaving without a purchase. Understand if the checkout process is abandoned. And by the way, a note on leaving the site. Idle time doesn't always reflect when they left the site. And you'll see a lot of times, pop-ups will appear when you're idle or when the visitor is idle. But let's be honest, how many times is that just the fact that he got distracted or he had to go do something else? It doesn't mean that he left. It just means that he's idle. So timing is critical here. And understand if the checkout process is abandoned, not just if he's left the site idle. And we'll show you how to do that as well. And then understand when he really left the site. So these are all the critical pieces of information that it takes to properly serve customized marketing campaigns. Now, let's talk about tracking that path a little bit more. And we wanted to point this out because they matter so much. We mentioned it a few times. What we mean when we talk about tracking their shopping path is specifically the pages that they visited, the products that they looked at, the time that they spent on those products, where their mouse went, and a few more things. And this, again, is the minimum that you should have. It's a good sort of base to start making a larger process and to start serving your customers good marketing campaigns. So identifying the intent. Now this is sort of next level, and you can piece it together from tracking the data properly. But all of these are bricks in building respect for your visitor, what they've done in the past, what they're doing right now on your website, and what they will probably do in the future with the data that you've collected, and an intelligent guess. And that results in what they probably want to buy now and what they might want to buy in the future. And if you're emailing them with all of this data in mind, then the sales are going to go up. It's just it just happens. Tracking allows thoughtful marketing, and that's really where we are most strong-willed about, is doing thoughtful marketing that's respectful, that creates a unique experience for each customer, and motivating them. Motivation doesn't have to be negative. So ask yourself, do you have the contact of the visitor? Was there a purchase made? Did they abandon the shopping cart? Have they not been on your site in a long time? Do you have an appropriate product to recommend to them? If you don't, then you may want to think about leaving them alone. All right, so it looks like a bunch of the answers are in for the poll that we did on data tracking. That's super cool. Thanks for giving me the answers on that poll. I know that if you live and use these principles in this class, you're going to get much better at data tracking. And then for those that are expert level data tracking, hats off to you, because you've really got it going on. Now, let's talk about the actual tools that we use. So we've talked a lot about theory or concept, and I'm sure you want to get into what the tools look like or what's the physical manifestation of them. So here's a few of them and how they actually perform. All tools don't perform the same, right? Some of them perform less, some of them perform better. So our smart widgets on average across the client base is plus 10% in sales. The smart emails plus 14%, smart recommendations plus 5%, and abandoned shopping cart, the features that we have, increase on average sales by 6%, which means that this type of thoughtful driven marketing can increase sales by 35%. I know we talk a lot about being smart, but we say this because the widgets that we use are actually smart. They are considering all of the data. They're using previously learned data to decide and offer solid marketing. So here's the result. This is on a fashion and apparel magazine or website, or retailer, an e-commerce store. And before you get too confused by all the different charts, just take a look at the top left one where it says original income and instruments. Now the blue line is without using thoughtful marketing and data-driven marketing. And then once this fashion and apparel store used thoughtful, data-driven, smart widgets, they increased their sales by over $500,000. And this was the red line that you can see, October through March, just last month. And then we've broken down the other three charts here are the specific tools and how much those increased sales. So if you're interested in seeing sort of what does the smart widget do, which one works best, again, this is the real data with numbers. And then we've got a software store that over the same time period, through thoughtful marketing, increased their income over $300,000 in 6 months. This was taken directly from one of our clients, and you can see in the top left-hand corner, the red line is with LeadHit, with thoughtful marketing, with respectful marketing. And then again, the other three charts are the specific features or widgets and how much they increased sales individually. So the top left is the combination of everything. All right. Now, this one, as opposed to the fashion one I just showed you, the software store has quite a bit higher price point. So the increase percentage-wise is a little bit different. Of course, it's a little bit more difficult the higher that the price point gets on your product to purchase. But as you can see, both are dramatic increases, which is sort of the point here, of course. And then here's the third lesson for today. So data analysis for conversion. Now, we're going to get into sort of how you analyze the data and what works with the different types of motivation. Okay, so let's talk about timing to start with. Motivation is all about timing. And the mistakes that we see you want to avoid: don't blast your pop-ups improperly, which we've talked about. Don't send your emails unwisely. Don't disregard the shopping path and potential interests of the visitors. You just have to make some small changes to motivate in a big way. And you don't want to miss those. So the formula here, and it's pretty simple, is use your brain and then your gut, right? So the brain part would be data collection, analysis, selection of who should get what, and then the gut or the heart part would be, showing respect, making sure that you're involved on an appropriate time basis, and then, use that good intuition that I'm sure you all have as e-commerce stores. It's cool because, e-commerce is not for the weak of heart. It's difficult with websites in the States like Amazon and eBay and all sorts of other ones that are just conglomerates. So if you're in this industry, you've got good intuition. We want to help you use it to take it one step further. And again, widgets are good. Pop-ups are good if they're used right. There's only two reasons to show a call to action or a widget, though, and that's if the visitor might have an issue, or if the visitor's leaving the website with no intent. And we want to encourage you to, be smart about it, but use them religiously. I mean, if you're not stopping someone from leaving your website, then what's the harm in offering them something that that they probably want? And we'll get into the different specific types of functions here. So here's a problem solver. This is an example of a solution. Keep in mind the wish list, our feature, doesn't appear right away. It appears only if the system sees that you've browsed more than 3 different products in a store. So and the reason is because you'll probably remember 1 or 2 products if you visit a store. But more than 3, and then you're going to start forgetting it. So what we've done is we've created a widget that once you've visited at least 3 products, it comes on the side there and says in the top left corner, would you like us to help you and save this to your wish list? And then we ask for the email, and then we save the item, and then the wish list retracts into the side of the screen, and the user can open that right whenever they want to, and they know that they've got a wish list. And then we can use that to email, we can use that to pop up, we can use that to do anything here. And then Smart Offer, which is what we call our next feature, is another example of a solution to a problem. First off, this only shows if no purchase was made and if the intent is to leave the website. So when you move up to leave around the tab, we'll send you, or the Smart Offer will then send you the discount. This is probably when you should ask someone if they want a discount, right? When they're going to leave your website, why not? So, you're exchanging goods, asking them for their email in exchange for a discount. So automation, let's talk about scale and automation. This is the only way that all of this stuff is possible. And we don't have, a bunch of people in the background running around making sure that all of the, each customer, because we don't have to. Automation is not that difficult to put together, but it does start with data tracking. So all of these things are involved in each of our teams in our office. The big data, the notifying, recommending, communicate, respect, increase loyalty, motivate, analyze, identify, and track. And these are what are baked into our automated platform. It's a lot of work, and there's no way that you can do that manually on your website. You're not sitting there watching everybody. And that's why we built our parameters into the platform. Now, it's interesting because there are a lot of really good tools out there. All of these that you see on the screen are good tools. We've used them in the past for other things outside of e-commerce. They do exactly what they're supposed to do, but they're not connected in a way that you can analyze all the data based on your client's wants and needs. You can't create an individual data set on each visitor that complements each other between tools. So MailChimp doesn't connect with live chat, not in a way that is sort of gives any meaningful relationship to the customer. Here's an example. This is yet another mail merge. This is probably one of the more simple interfaces for the analytics, but it's a great example of what we're talking about. You get the number of opens, the number of clicks, the number of bounces, but where the heck is the path that the person took? Where is the products that they looked at? Where's the link that they clicked? There's a bunch of other stuff that matters, and look at how much work it requires to piece all of that together. You can only send it to a few groups of people, and you have to do it manually, and that's not our style. So it's almost impossible to bring together all the data and make it work, and that's why we built LeadHit. So let's get into number 4, our tools and our offers, and I'll just cover everything that's included here in the platform. So we call it one tool to rule them all. You can tell that we are Lord of the Rings fans, but basically what we've got is automation and interconnection between desktop, mobile, and all the different types of tools. Smart widgets, smart emails, recommendations, shopping cart abandonment solutions. You don't have to create new instruments out of the blue. We can just use the existing instruments, pop-ups, emails, all the same features that you're familiar with, just combined into one and delivered in a data-driven way. It's automated, it should be interconnected, and it should be both on desktop and mobile, obviously. So here's how it works with the marketing funnel. And I know that most marketers think in terms of a funnel. At the top, you've got the visitors on the site. The next phase in purple would be, maybe research or browsing. The red would be things like consideration or pricing. And then the sale and the repeating sale. Well, what we've seen when we've overlaid our clients' data into their marketing funnel is that it helps with the second, third, and fourth and fifth repeating business parts of the funnel. So the parts where somebody's just browsing, it works very well on. The parts that somebody is checking the prices on, this is where you're going to see the increase. And this is, above normal for intelligent marketing, or what we like to call smart marketing. This is a good example of what we feel like is a good personalized, thoughtful email approach. And you can see at the top, we only offer gifts if no purchase was made. There's no reason to give stuff away if they haven't walked off from the negotiating table. If they're still sitting at the table, there's no reason to offer them 10% off. So we only do that when they walk away or when they leave. The second thing is that we have a countdown timer. This is extremely important for creating a sense of urgency and motivating recipients to act fast. We normally do all of our call to actions on the website. So when we give out a promo code, we want to have a button that forces them to click back and takes them to the website before they redeem that code. We don't want to give away the promo code right in the email. And then, of course, because we've got their data, and this is one of the biggest conversion tools, is we show them the products that they've looked at. And then, of course, call to actions are critical to have everywhere. So here's all of the tools that we use. On the left side, that's the campaign or the type of tool: abandoned browsing, abandoned cart, inactive clients. Some of these are email features of ours. Some of these are pop-ups. Some of these are the wish list. And you can see, let's take a look at the bottom, the smart offer, which is an email with exactly what they looked at but didn't purchase, and wish list, which is that widget that we saw earlier that asks them if they want to save something. Look at these in the clicked column in the red. We've got 57.9% opens and 77.1% opens and 25% conversion and 77% clicked. That's amazing. This is solid marketing right with what the customer wants. Here's a good example of the smart offer. So you saw the wish list. Now we're going to take a look at the smart offer. So this is how it looks live on a website. When they go and show exit intent, that means they move their mouse up to the tab. We offer them a discount on whatever that item was in exchange for their email. And then we actually send them an email that offers a discount for that item. Now, this is exit intent with no purchase. This is when they have nothing in the cart and the purchaser leaves the site and sending them a pop-up. Now, the cool thing is we don't stop them from leaving the website. They can still X off of that tab if they want. So we're not locking them in the store, so to speak. But we are nicely suggesting that if they want this item, we'll give it to them for a discount, which is a legit thing to offer. And it works. It works wonderfully. And then here's what the email looks like. So these are two different examples of the same smart offer. It's all about the motivation, right? So you can see in both of these emails, you've got a buy and all the elements that we talked about earlier, countdown timer, the exact items that they looked at, and a discount. So we give you a discount on your first purchase, which is exactly what people try and do in many cases, but do it at the beginning of their journey, oftentimes when the customer doesn't even know if they want to buy something. And these are the most important motivating elements to the site. Okay, we talked about the wish list before. This is another one of our biggest feature tools that causes a huge impact. And again, it pops up when somebody looks at 3 or more items, and then we've got that data. We can email them. We can email them in a week. We can email them in 2 weeks, whenever we want and feel appropriate. Okay. The wish list not only reminds you, but it motivates. So in the email, this is how it looks. You looked at this printed dress. You looked at this faded short sleeve. You looked at this blouse. Thanks for visiting. Are you sure you don't want to pick up one of these things today? And if you do that kind of stuff, instead of just this mud against the wall, more people are going to buy. Here's how our abandoned shopping cart motivation looks. This is the email. And we immediately save the items that they looked at in the shopping cart and send them a nice email that offers if they want to buy them. And as you saw, an overwhelming majority of people opened it and an overwhelming majority of people clicked it. So this is just recreating interest on things that are known that your customer likes. And it's not rocket science. There might be some other tools that do this out there, but combined with all of the other tools, it creates a much less fragmented sort of suite. So here's a couple of ways that we also communicate with you as the business. If you've got a sales department, or if you've got customer service, or if you've got people on the phone, we send a copy of the email to you with the information at the top for who this is, what their phone number is, if they've given it to us, what the email is, what they've looked at, and that they just got this abandoned shopping. So if you've got a customer service team, you can actually have them call or get in touch and sort of talk over this deal. This has been a massive way that our customers have increased sales. Some of our customers have teams of sales departments that will actually call for higher priced items and talk the customer through any of their questions and help them decide if they want that purchase. Okay. And then one last thing to round out our respectful marketing is that the customer should be thanked. You know, you always want to thank these people. It's one of these things where a little bit goes a long way, but you want to do it at the appropriate time, right? when they buy something, send them an email that says, thanks, here's some other items that that you purchased. And it's also important to gently remind the inactive customers to visit. So we've got that included right in our suite automatically of tools. We suggest that no earlier than 30 days after the visitor's last visit. That way you don't clog their inbox or annoy them. The biggest thing that was on that list, or one of the biggest things that was on that list of why people don't buy, was just annoying emails. You don't want to be that company because it doesn't work, right? No one's sitting around waiting for the next email to come out from your e-commerce store. And if they are, by all means, send them a bunch of emails. But for the vast majority, if they haven't been to your site in over 30 days, that's the appropriate time to send them a reminder, okay? And then when you do, send them the products that they looked at last time. Why would you send them products that you have no idea if they want or not, right? All right, now for everybody that's in class today, I want to thank you for being here. We've got some bonuses that if you stay to the end of the class, we're going to give those away to you absolutely free, okay? So you've learned a lot, and we're not done. We're going to keep learning here in a couple of minutes, but I do want to stop and tell everybody that's in class today, we've got a couple of great bonuses, free things that we're going to give away for you if you stay till the end of class today. But first, let's just recap what we've learned and what we've talked about. E-commerce marketing audit, we dove deep into how to do that. We talked a lot about advanced data tracking. We covered data analysis and conversion, and then we covered tools and offers. Now, you might wonder, how much does all of this cost? How do you guys structure your pricing? It's pretty simple. Everything that we do is based on results. So we are pay for results model, okay? You don't pay anything until LeadHit gets results. So LeadHit will set everything up for you. We set everything up. You don't have to be technical, and we do all the work. Now, the way that we work is, and this is sort of different for different people. Our standard, different products, different industries, our standard pay per result is 7% of the sale gets paid to us. This is for industries, for normal sort of marginal industries. There are some industries that are, the margins are very low, in which case, look, talk to us. Let's figure out a way that we can make it work for both of us. We are not here to make anybody poor. So we can do, a monthly subscription type of thing that starts out at $50 a month for a small website. We build all of our subscription models in a custom basis, but I'll be frank, the majority of our clients do our pay per results model. And we can work out a percentage that works for your profit margin, obviously. We're after long-term relationships, and we want to help increase as many sales as we possibly can. Okay, so if you have pricing, you can get in touch with us at info@leadhit.net if you have pricing questions, or if you want to talk to our staff a little bit more, or if you have more questions about anything, you can get in touch with us at info@leadhit.net. That's LEADHIT.net. Okay. All right. Now, I mentioned some bonuses earlier for you. Normally, we start everybody off by installing the software and making sure that everything is set up right. It doesn't take very long. It takes 10, 15 minutes, so it's not a big deal. But normally we start off with taking, the percentage, the pay per sale from the very first sale. But if you're in class today, we want to give you a 30-day free trial. So the first 30 days, you won't incur any expenses. You won't have to give us any commission. And we'd also like to extend for the students in the class today, free site optimization consultation. So we've got people on staff that have been doing this for a long time, that understand how the best converting websites are set up, and we will walk you through how you can do that for your website. Now, there's one more thing that we're talking about today, and me and some of the guys from our staff have thought that we'd love to issue you a challenge. Now, what's cool about this challenge that we thought of is that we get published pretty frequently in the media. And for the next piece of media that we were going to do, we'd thought to do a side-by-side comparison of respectful versus traditional marketing tactics on an e-commerce store. So what we wanted to do was offer the challenge in public. If anybody wants to co-author the article with us, where we will review all of the statistics from the marketing and the conversion from the e-commerce store for a 30-day period without thoughtful marketing or with traditional marketing, and then do a side-by-side comparison with LeadHit installed and running in this thoughtful, respectful type of marketing that we're so passionate about. We wanted to compare those results side by side. Now, obviously, you'll get the platform for free for that trial period. You'll also get the opportunity to co-author the article, which is cool because we'll both get to write it. We've gotten published in a number of top U.S. publications, and our PR team will find a phenomenal place to do this case study. So it could be in one of the major pieces of media, but what we want to do is sort of help people look at what respectful marketing looks like. So you'll get some exposure from it. Your store will get some exposure. We're happy to promote your store and co-author the article with you. So yeah, we thought it would be a fun sort of challenge. So if you want to take advantage and participate in the challenge, let us know. You can reach us at info@leadhit.net, or just tell us now that you want to participate in it, and then we'll set up a time to talk to you on the phone, find out what your site is, and see if it's appropriate to do this together. And one more thing about compatibility. Well, I'll get to the compatibility in a second. We also have a profit sharing program for CMOs, for webmasters, for agencies. If you're a digital marketing consultant or an agency, we give 30% of the first 3 months to you from each site that you bring on board. So our partnership program is a really great way to make some money if you're not an e-commerce store. I know there's a lot of agencies and consultants in the audience, okay? In terms of integration, we work with all of the brands that you see on the screen here. Again, it only takes 10 or 15 minutes to install, and we're compatible with Magento, PrestaShop, WordPress, OpenCart, Shopify, WooCommerce, and a bunch more. Those were just sort of the main ones that we wanted to bring up because they're popular. And if you've got any questions, we'd love to answer them. We appreciate you being in class today. I know you learned a lot. I love the feedback that we get when we talk about our passion for respectful marketing. And I can't wait to have individual conversations with everybody here about how they're doing their marketing, hear their stories of what their challenges are. And I want everybody to sort of either give us some feedback or ask some questions or get in touch at info@leadhit.net. Now, we've had a lot of great content here today, and it's been a pleasure hosting and presenting and sharing this knowledge and collecting it with you. You guys are a phenomenal group that are all doing amazing things because you're either working for yourself or you're driving projects to success. And we would love to, do this again sometime. And we'll probably be coming out with future classes to help anybody that needs it if we feel like our experience or our data or our skill set can possibly help. So I'll sign off with that and say goodbye for now. But I look forward to talking to you again next time. All right, take care. Bye-bye.